Hello students, this is Dr. Kirankumar. Today we are with our second lecture of this paper, that is plant anatomy and embryology. Here we are going to study epidermal tissue system, its structure and functions. Students, epidermal tissue system, as we have studied earlier, if you go to study the plant tissue system, plants have specialized tissue system. Plants consist of four tissue systems, as we know, as we studied in our last lecture. Which are these four tissue systems? Meristematic tissues, dermal tissues, vascular tissues, and ground tissues. Here in this lecture, we are concerned with dermal tissues, that is epidermal tissues. Epidermal tissue system or epidermis form the outermost boundaries of primary plant body. Structures associated with epidermis is stomata, cuticle, trichomes or hairs, glands or secretory cells, and idoblast cells. Epidermal cells are compactly and continuously arranged. The continuity is lost by the presence of stomatal pores or breaks in tissues. Stomata, as we know, these are the pores for the exchange of gases. They are also present on epidermal cells. The cuticle can be separated from epidermis. Epidermis provides mechanical protection, allows gaseous exchange through stomata. They restricts transpiration with cuticle and is also involved in storage, photosynthesis, secretion, absorption, and perception of stimuli. Epidermal tissues, they forms outermost protective covering of plants. Walls of epidermal cells exposed to air are covered with a waxy cuticle. A waxy layer is present on the outer portions of the epidermal cells, a waxy material that we can say that is a cuticle. Then particularly on the root, they form root hairs. They plays very important role in the absorption of water and minerals. On the stems and leaves, trichomes are there, hairs that protect from too much sun and moisture. They reserve moisture around the plant. Particularly on the leaves, guard cells and stomatas are there. Periderm, that is a old woody plant, they replaces epidermis, that is made up of cork cells, cork cambium and lenticels. Cork cells gives protection. Cork cambium is responsible to form a new cork cells, and lenticels, that is the area of overproduction of cork cells for the purpose of gaseous exchange. See here, like the skin of animals, the epidermis of the plant covers the outer surface and thus covers all plant tissues from the roots to the tip. Made up of epidermal cells, the epidermis in plants also serve as a protective layer that not only prevent various microorganisms from gaining entrance into the underlying tissue of leaves and stems, but also they prevent excessive water loss among a few other functions, that is transpiration. They check the transpiration and they allow transpiration too. Epidermis, if you go to study the epidermis, we considered epidermis is a complex plant tissue. It covers and protects plant surfaces. As we have studied, it secretes a waxy waterproof cuticle as shown in the diagram. A, at the upper surface of epidermal cell, a waxy cuticle is there, and in plants with secondary growth, periderm that replaces epidermis. Epidermal tissues is a single layer of cells found over in the surface of the plant. Some epidermal cells are specialized for perform a certain different special types of functions. For example, guard cells are there in leaves. They form uh, stomatas. In root, particularly root hairs are there. They are involved in the process of absorption of water and minerals. The primary region of the plant body is covered by a layer of epidermal tissue system. This layer is called epidermis. Epidermis is generally unicerate and formed from protoderm. The cells of protoderm divided anticlinally and form multi-layered epidermis. For example, in nerium is the best example where we found multi-layer epidermis. And in ficus also, ficus bengalensis, or number of examples are there as shown in this diagram. A multi-layered epidermis is there. Okay, epidermal cells are tubular in shape and they are compactly arranged without any intercellular spaces. See here, these epidermal cells, they are compactly arranged below the cuticle. Epidermal cells are there, they are compactly arranged without any kind of intercellular spaces. Plant tissues, these particularly these dermal cells or this dermal tissue system, this is nothing but a outer covering of plant. They form outermost layer, as I have told earlier, cuticle, that is a waxy covering, and root hairs are also there. Peridermal tissues are there. That are peridermal tissues. They are found only in woody plants or mature plants, bark, that dead cells. They are they functions as a supportive system. Now, this is the uh, epidermal tissue. A section shows epidermal tissues. A cuticle layer is there. Trichomes are also there. Invited outer cells are there. Stomata, which clearly shown guard cells, that and a pore is there, which take part in the process of exchange of gases. That is a physiological function. But that stomata is a part of epidermal tissues. Okay. So dermal tissue system, that is outer layer, and in this diagram also again a red color cuticle is there. After that, upper epidermis is there. Then palacyte cells are there, and at the base again lower epidermis is there, which having stomata, etc. This is the clear structure of epidermal tissue system. Now, waxy cuticle and epidermis, that is a integral part of epidermal tissue. So the waxy cuticle is a thin layer of the epidermis. Its function is to reduce the water loss from the leaf. In arid conditions, the cuticle layer can be quick thick. Epidermis cells contain no chloroplast, not true of the stoma cell. In stomatal cells, chloroplasts are there in guard cells. So they form layer on the upper and lower surfaces of the leaf. Their function is to prevent water getting out and stopping unwanted substances or organism getting inside. So this cuticle playing very important role. So in plants, leaves, epidermal cells are located on the upper and lower part of the leaf, where they form the upper and lower epidermis. The cuticle, however, is located on the upper epidermis of the most part. In plants, this is the outermost part that is secreted by the epidermis. Hence, it consists of substances known as the cutin. Polymerized esters or fatty acids are there. On the upper epidermis, the cuticle, which is waxy in nature, acts as a water repellent, and it is also shiny, and thus it helps to reflect off excess sunlight. Now, dermal tissue system, this epidermal tissue system having various functions, very important functions in plant life. They protect the internal soft tissue against mechanical injury. It prevent excessive transpiration. It store water in xerophytic plant. because in xerophytic plant cuticle is multi-layered and its secretory substances also stored. Stomata, which is very important part of epidermal tissue, which concentrate with gaseous exchange, cuticle and fatty material, they restrict transpiration. Tough cuticle and compact cells provide definite shape to the body of particular plant. Epidermis having root hairs is thin walled and absorb water, that is epiblema. Site of photo reception that play important role in the process of photosynthesis, photoperiodic induction, etc. And the leaf of movement. And epidermal protoplast store various products of metabolism. Thank you.